It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Brewdog and it's a can of their Rocky Road Marshmallow Stout. It's coming in at 6.8% ABV. But I feel like I've had something similar. I feel like I've stood here maybe about 2 or 3 years ago and I was reviewing a beer that was massively similar to this. I'm pretty sure it was some kind of marshmallow stout. Was it called Candy Cane or something? Maybe called Candy Cane. All of you Brewdog fans out there, I'm sure you'll tell me which beer it was, but it definitely sounds very familiar, this. It's launched into Sainsbury's for £3.50 a can. For a beer at 6.8% ABV. The way the system is these days in terms of like how much you have to pay in taxation, then yeah, I suppose £3.50 is probably right, especially when these beers are on a 4 for 3 deal and you pick them up, you get a can free if you buy 4 and you use your Nectar card. Pay for 3, you get 4. So United we stand for better beer, fiercely defiant and independent. Brewdog's name, 440ml can. Without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. If you want to check out, I just literally finished reviewing their Wingman Double IPA and I was quite impressed with that beer. I was quite impressed. So if you want to have a look at Wingman, go and have a look at that video too. Let's get this beer out, poured into a glass and see what we get. We have a 1 finger tan coloured head. It's a jet black beer in the glass with slow moving carbonation in the glass. It looks a little bit thin, but to be honest with you, I'm quite happy that it has that head retention, that 1 finger tan coloured head there. Decent head retention on the beer. Let's get the aroma then. There's no sediment whatsoever in this stout. Yeah, I've had this before. This is something that I've had before. Was it called Candy Cane? I've got Candy Cane stuck in my head. They also did like a vice versa beer, didn't they? Oh, that was Thornbridge. That might have been Thornbridge. Oh, anyway, Brewdog produced a Marshmallow Stout before. I'm pretty sure of it. It might have even been 7.2% ABV as well. This being 6.8. It's like sticking your nose into a raspberry ripple. Remember raspberry ripples? I used to love them as a kid. Dark chocolate on the outside, raspberry ripple in the inside, with coconut. Yeah. They should have just called this Raspberry Ripple. So I'm going to say raspberry flavourings in this beer. There's not going to be much in the way of real raspberry, but it's a real kind of mixed fruit raspberry flavour that's going on here in the beer. Let's dive in. Cheers everybody. Well, they've improved it. They've improved it. I don't know. I don't know what it is with Brewdog at the moment. They're not disappointing me as much as I used to be disappointed. There used to be a real... I remember reviewing this stout in its old form and it tasted like chemicals. I remember like oh, this is dreadful, this is awful beer. But actually, there's a certain level of refinement that's happened at Brewdog. Their Wingman Double IPA, I was expecting to hate it. It was okay. It was okay. This beer here, I really wasn't expecting to like it whatsoever. Yet, there's none of that chemical flavour anymore. Yes, it's very sweet. It's a very sweet beer. It kind of reminds me a little bit of those Vocation celebration beers that came out a couple of years ago, where they were really, really sweet. It was like, whoa, what on earth is this? Almost kind of reminds me of that. It is sweet beer. But, on the other hand, there's some mouthfeel. It's a little bit creamy and rich, which you would expect for 6.8% ABV. There's a nice tickle of carbonation that pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth. It's like a liquid. The best way to describe the flavour is that you're picking up some of the dark chocolate from the Raspberry Ripple. You're picking up some of the coconut from the Raspberry Ripple, and you're definitely picking up the raspberry from the Raspberry Ripple. If you were a fan of a Raspberry Ripple as a kid, then look no further than this beer. They've doubled down on the stout aspect of it. They've made sure that it's stout first and foremost, and then they've added these weird, wacky raspberry coconut flavours to the beer, but not as much, not as heavily. It's a bit more refined. There's a little bit more work gone into it. They've polished that rough diamond, and they've made it into something you may want to wear on your finger. I just wish I could remember the first beer that they brought out. It was definitely like a marshmallow thing going on. Rocky Road. They should have called it Raspberry Ripple. They really should. I mean, I'm sure Mr. Watt's old enough and Mr. Dickey's old enough to remember Raspberry Ripples. If you dip some of that in your beer, then yeah, this is exactly what you're going to be. It'd be the same thing. It'd be exactly the same thing. So ingredients then. Water, barley, malted barley, lactose, malted oats, yeast, natural flavourings and hops. Here we go then. Brewdog's Rocky Road Marshmallow Stout. Again, thought I was going to hate it. It's actually not too bad. 8 out of 10. Can't believe I'm saying it. Cannot believe I'm saying it. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Brewdog Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.